still smell my fear. Hold on to my slippery heart. Don't press too hard. You crash like a tidal wave. I never had the words to say. Put your tail between your legs. Tell me what you really mean. You never say what you really mean.
Hey everyone, so today I'm doing this video showing you how to make infinity scarves, which are basically just normal scarves except they're circular. So I'm going to show you how to make them with all different types of fabrics and patterns, and also how to make really easy ones that include no sewing, and then other ones that do include sewing if you can. So they make really good gifts for Christmas and for birthdays, so if you want to see how to make them, just keep watching. If you don't know how to sew, you can use some fabric glue or pinking shears, which give a zigzag pattern and prevent fraying. And if you do know how to sew, you can use a needle and thread, a basic sewing machine or a serger if you have one, and also an iron is good for seams. The most easiest way to make an infinity scarf is to use store-bought regular scarves. If you go to a thrift store, they're really inexpensive. You could get them for like $2. And what you do is you're going to secure the ends. This will be the easiest way. I'll show you 4 ways to make them. So the first way is probably the easiest. You just take your scarf and you fold it in half, and then you take some glue and you put it along the very edge of it, and then you fold that piece over, and this is going to take your normal scarf and stick it together on the side so that it makes a circular infinity scarf. So that is a finished scarf one way. The second way is to take a needle and thread and just use the needle and thread and go over the side to connect the scarf together, and then you have an infinity scarf that way. It's really easy and it doesn't take very long to just sew one edge of it. The third way to make one using store-bought scarf is to take it and take the 2 ends and stick them together and then just sew it. And then you have your infinity scarf, and for this one I just used a really fuzzy material which is so soft and I just love it. Then the last way to sew together the final scarf that was store-bought would be to use a serger, which is a machine, if you have one, that makes the edges nice and cuts the fabric, and you just want to serge the edges together, and then you'll have the perfect seam that is together an infinity scarf. Now I'm going to show you another way to make infinity scarves, and I made the next 5 scarves out of material I got from Joann's Fabric, and you can choose whichever material you like. I used about 18 inches of fabric wide and about 60 inches long, and you want to cut them to be that size. They only show me cutting the first scarf, but you're going to want to cut each one. So for this one, I cut off the extra material that was on the sides, and then I put the material right sides together and glued the edges together. This will give you a normal scarf. Then you want to wait for it to completely dry, and once it's done drying, you are going to turn it inside out and iron the seams flat so that everything's together perfectly, and then you're going to want to glue the ends together, and this will create the infinity scarf part of it. And then that one is complete, and you can rock your awesome infinity scarf that you just made with no sewing at all. Then for the next scarf, you want to cut the piece out, then trim the edges with pinking shears. I did this off camera, so sorry about that. And then you want to glue the edges together and stick them together to get the infinity scarf. And then you have this leopard print scarf. Now, using my zebra print material, I cut the piece out, and then I used the sewing machine and I sewed the sides of it so that the edges are really clean, and you could do this also by hand sewing or using the zigzag edge, but I did it this way. And then you're going to take the two sides of the scarf and stick them together and sew that too. This next part was optional, but I just cut along the edge above where I sewed just so that it didn't fray on the inside of my scarf. And then I had my completed zebra scarf. And for the next one I used a serger, and I did the sides and edges by serging it, which got rid of all the rough ends of the material, and it made that scarf. Then the last one, which is a gold fabric, I just did it the same way that I just showed you with the serger, but I added in a label to the inside of the seam just for something cool and cute that you could use for a gift if you give it away to someone. It just adds a little bit more of a girly touch to it.
Here.